Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. We will continue talk about delegating filter proxy, and from the screen you will see I use another title, which is Spring Security. Yes, filter based. Okay. But the main idea of this video, we will continue talk about delegating filter proxy, this class, this filter. It's the entry point of Spring Security. So if we are not using Spring Boot, then in your Spring project, you have to configure as below showing here, which you have to configure this delegating filter proxy. And and your filter name needed to use a Spring Security filter chain, and I will show you the reason later. So first, I want to show you a diagram. We will draw from scratch what's gonna happen. When we from a client, when we make a request to our application, no matter here, even though we are using Spring Boot, but we're still using Tomcat to deploy our application. Just this Tomcat is embedded Tomcat, right? And we have so many Spring Manager bin, like controllers, service, those. And here I will think this one is a controller, okay? And which can use to handle the requests, and the controller too, okay? And we need to have a dispatcher servlet, right? This is a servlet. We will delegate the request to different controller, right? And so if we add in our first Spring Security demo, we are using Spring Boot and Spring Security and web, right? So when a request comes to the slash, okay, and it will not directly go to our controller. First thing, it will go to the filter. This filter is what? This filter is a delegating filter proxy, and which is the entry point to our Spring Security. And it's not the only filter it will go through, because inside the Spring Boot project, you can also create your own filter. And you can have many as you want, the filters which you created by yourself. Okay, so now when go to delegating proxy filter, what's gonna happen? So when you go through the request, make a request to slash, it will go through the delegating filter proxy, and after you pass the filters from the Spring Security, it may go to other filters you created, eventually go to dispatcher servlet, eventually go to the controller, right? So what happened in this step? What happened in this step? Yes, I will draw here, okay? Yeah. Can I make it larger? So what's gonna happen? Yes, when a client make a request, so it will go through delegating filter proxy. Okay, this delegating filter proxy, it's a Java filter, Java web filter, which is servlet filter, and all those is inside our Tomcat, right? This is our Tomcat. Let's use this one. And who is initialized this one? You should know it's the Tomcat, because this is a regular filter and it's configured inside our either Webpack XML file or other Java class configuration files. And it's gonna go where? It will go something called FilterChainProxy. Okay. And FilterChainProxy, you will see here, it will delegate the request, go through lots of the filters. and I will show you some of them later. Like one used for authentication is called username password authentication filter, if I remember correctly. Okay, something started with username and password. And it has others like exception, translation filter. This is a part of the authorization. Authorization also has another, I couldn't remember now, which is when I see the actual name called something called filter something interceptor. Okay, sorry, these two are actually used for authorization. There are others like for logout filter, and it will also have for session management, cross-site request forgery filter, and header something filter, servlet context filter, has many of them. So when a user make a request, okay, it will go through the delegating filter, and when it goes through the delegating filter, that's the entry of Spring Security. Okay, and from this delegating filter, it actually doesn't do what? It actually doesn't do the authentication and authorization task, because this delegating filter proxy is used as a bridge which delegate the request to actual Spring Manager bin. But this Spring Manager bin, it's gonna what? It's gonna implement filter interface. So this one will implement filter interface, and this FilterChainProxy actually also don't do those filter tasks itself. Instead, it will resolve a collection of filters this request gonna go through, and then each filter is gonna do different tasks. Okay, so now let me show you in the source code. It's happened like this way. Okay, so I will go to the first Spring Security demo, which we wrote last time, which is our first demo. You can see here I don't have anything being changed here. Okay, just have welcome application, nothing. Okay, so here poem just have the one we selected, nothing being changed here. Okay, and another thing is I suggest you go here, go Maven. You can download the source code. Okay, after download source code, you can see the source code of the dependencies you actually used in current project. And the one we will see first is called, we will go to all, we will call all is called DelegatingFilterProxy. Okay, so here I will add a debug. It will go in, will show you, it will go through here. And now we will add another debug inside the filter, what's the FilterChainProxy. This one, okay, FilterChainProxy. And this FilterChainProxy also is, it's a Spring Manager bin, okay, but it will implement the filter, which is a Java Web filter, okay. But this filter is not registered in web.xml or using class to be initialized by the Tomcat. Instead, this filter is managed by Spring. Okay. And this delegating filter, you can see from here. Delegating filter, it will also implement this filter. You can see here, filter. And when we do delegating filter, it will have a do filter method. See here, do filter. And we will later on we will read the thing he is doing here. Okay. And sorry, let me go here and make another debug here. Okay, wait for a second. Do filter. Okay, here also have a do filter. We can do here. Then we can make a comment here. No, the debug here. Because without debugging, we cannot go inside to see actually those things being running, okay? Invoked, sorry. So now I will using debug mode. And after the application starts, we will do yes. We will just make a localhost 8080. Okay. We will go and make a localhost. Yeah. When I type localhost 8080, it's already make a request. See here? It's already make a request. Even I didn't click enter. I think that's the behavior of a browser. So here you can see it's already going inside to our DelegatingFilterProxy. And here is trying to get a filter. And so far they start delegate for the first time because this is the first request after we start our application, right? So first time they started delegated gonna be empty. So here you can see they started delegated is empty. And the purpose of DelegatingFilterProxy here, I mentioned it before, okay? It doesn't do authentication and authorization task. It just delegated request to the Spring managed bin, and this bin also implements filter. So let's go. So you will see step over. You will see this is gonna be none. Okay, it will go inside to initialize this delegate to use this filter. See here, delegate to use. Okay, none. Okay, and if it's none, this is what application context. And it's called a web application context. When we use Spring MVC, we talked about Spring MVC, you're gonna have a web application context, and from web application context, you can get all the bins initialized inside the web application, the configuration files, right? Like controllers. If you also configure to initialize a service reporter, you can also get it here. But for the service layer and the reporter layer, it's better to initialize them in root application context, right? And the root application context gonna inherit by web application context. Okay, so here we talk about this filter delegate to use. It must to be a Spring managed bin, and which implements filter. That's why how can I initialize this delegate to use filter? We will get the application context, and from application context we will get it. So let's go step over. You can find it, and here it's gonna be none. We will through, right? And it's not a none because application starts, and it will have the value for web application context. And we can step into here. Okay, so far here you can still see it's none, right? And we step into the initial delegate and take a look at this target name. Okay, here, see here, Spring Security Filter Chain. That's the default name for the Spring Security, the filter, delegating filter when you configure the filter name, okay? Otherwise, cannot find the FilterChainProxy. Okay, so I will do like this way, and after that, we step over. You will see this target bin name is become Spring Security Filter Chain. Okay, that's the reason why here we will use a Spring Security Filter Chain when we use Spring Security without a Spring Boot. And now let's go in step over. Okay, get a bin filter based on the Spring Security Filter Chain, and you will see this filter gonna become an instance of FilterChainProxy. Okay, go inside, get it over. Okay, you will see this one. See here, delegate. It's gonna be FilterChainProxy, and step over, step over, step over, step over, step over. Step over. Okay, now it calls after the DelegatingFilterProxy, it will delegate the request to FilterChainProxy, right? See here, it go to my FilterChainProxy do filter, which is here. Like from DelegatingFilterProxy, it will go to FilterChainProxy, right? And then we can just step over, okay? And step over, do filter internal, and we will step into. So here it will go to a firewall request. Step over. I don't want to. This is not the thing I want to show you. Okay. The step over here. From our diagram, after the FilterChainProxy, it will actually delegate the request to a collection of filters. So in the FilterChainProxy, it has to resolve all the filters needed to go through for the current request. How it is being done? Here you can see list of filters, okay? List of filters, and after we go, okay, can you see? Okay, I have to step over again. Okay, now see here, this is a filter, right? Filters, the collection of filter. Now let's take a look at total is 15. In our demo, in our diagram, I just show some of them, okay? So 15, let's take a look at one by one. So here has many, see here, and see here, it has a security context persistence, and async integration filter, CSRF logout. This one is for authentication, and this is default login page generation filter, which is when we haven't see. After we finish, you will see the login page, right? And this is the logout and the basic authentication, cache, anonymous, okay, session management for session. And if we're using just for web, now if we are using JWT, then we don't need to use the session, right? And these two, okay, this is a two. I'm talking about exception translation filter, filter security interceptor, which is this one. Here should be filter security interceptor. And these two are used together for authorization, which is here, these two. So total is 15 filters. And later on, we will go through some of them, and you will see each of the filter in this collection will do different things in the Spring security tasks, okay? And here I want to continue, okay? I just step over and then finish, okay? Let's just finish. And then in our page, don't know why. So here it's gonna be the second time, and for a second time it's gonna go inside, and you will see it's not a none anymore, right? Because this is the second time, it's not a none, and it will directly not a none, so it will directly go to invoke delegate, which will invoke the FilterChainProxy. You can see it will invoke, okay, like this one. It will go again, and to resolve based on your current request, resolve the get filters, it will go through. Total is 15, and we will go through. Okay, what happened? It's running. Okay, go finished. Okay, so how now you see this? Yes, what? This is the login page. Okay, and then you can continue, and continue. It's gonna also go to DelegatingProxy for the next request. And let's take a look at the code a little bit again. You can see this do filter method, which is the main method to be used in the DelegatingFilterProxy. Okay, and you can see the piece of code. They are actually not doing authentication and authorization task in this DelegatingFilterProxy, right? And what it did is to initialize this delegate to use this filter. And this filter in our example in Spring Security is gonna be what? It's gonna be the FilterChainProxy. Okay, it's just to find the FilterChainProxy and eventually invoke this FilterChainProxies do filter method. You can see after do filter, this part is initialize this delegate to use. Okay, this delegate to use, and after that we will invoke the delegate, right? and this invoke delegate gonna delegate do filter, and this delegate we know is what? Is a filter chain proxy. So it will call the okay. It's gonna be hard, this one. So we just go here. This do filter is gonna go to the filter chains do filter. It's gonna invoke here, and it will resolve the collection of filters. Okay. And the collection filters itself also gonna do the actual authentication authorization task. But in this case, filter chain proxy is what? It's a Spring managed filter now. Okay. And it will resolve all the filters which are available inside the Spring Security, like to do authentication, to do authorization, and to manage the session, all those. Okay. So this is our first step, which is after a request comes, it will go to the DelegatingFilterProxy. DelegatingFilterProxy, it will delegate a request to Spring manage the filter. Okay, and the Spring Manager filter, which is a filter chain proxy, will resolve a collection of filters the current request that need to go through. Okay, so hope you understand the first step, which Spring Security is filter based. Okay, and next video we will talk we will take a look at some of the filters, especially for authentication and authorization. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye bye.